It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. And it feels so good to be home. Guys, I just wanted to say, you know that we're about to recap The Real Housewives of Orange County, and I have a super special guest who we have been trying to connect for the longest time at this point. You guys know her Instagram as Glorified Gossip Girl. She has a real name. Her name is Peyton. I always reference what she has going on our pre-records, so I'm sure you're already familiar. But we'll also bring up her Instagram too throughout, just to kind of, let's spread the love. But before we jump in, you know how this works. Do all the YouTube-y things, smash the like button, show some love, and let's welcome Glorified Gossip Girl. Hello.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Finally.
I feel like our schedules never connected. And when you asked me yesterday, I'm like, yes, let's finally do it.
This is, well, one, thank you. And two, it's so great to put a face with everything that you have going on. I'm always referencing your videos.
I know. Everyone's like, oh, Up and Adam mentioned you. I'm so thankful that you do that every time. I love your videos and your Instagram. How was LA, by the way?
My gosh, so much fun. I'm doing Jason's working on a vlog right now from behind the scenes, but it was literally like a whirlwind. It happened. We showed up, got off the plane. I got a call from Sheena. Sheena's like, well, Lisa's going to be at SUR and, we're filming this brunch. And my husband worked for Lisa for like 5 years, along with me also working for her. So it was great to see her and cast. I kind of, you know what, though? It was so weird for me. And I think I talk about this a little bit, but I felt like, like old school mafia days. Like when you're treated like you have a wire.
Yeah.
Like being in there, producers kept on walking up and they're like, okay, Adam, we know you're here.
Like a casino.
Yeah, it's like, we know you're on YouTube. And just one of them even tapped on my phone and was like, you're not recording anything, are you? And then they saw that I wasn't. They're like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, are you though?
I don't think you are. You are kidding.
You don't want me to be the leak. I'm not your leak.
Right? You're not the leak. You just put out what's there.
Yeah. Actually, I normally wait for you guys to put it out because especially with them, I'm friends with most of them. So I when you guys put it out, I can talk about it. Otherwise, I don't want to ruin my friendships.
Somebody asked me if it's awkward because I talked to a few of them. They're like, is it awkward to post about them when you talk to them? I'm like, it kind of is. Yeah. But you got to do what you got to do.
You do what you got to do. Well, and I had a great conversation with Ariana and a few other people just saying like, hey, listen, this is the first time I'm seeing you face to face since Scandival. And this is a part of the job, but I'm never like trashing you. So, and she was like, no, I totally understand. So between that and this after party and Sheena's show, and there was some Tara Reid drama, and then doing Heather McDonald
on a Heather McDonald's podcast, I was like, oh my God, she has some balls to do that.
Yeah, it was just weird, but it was the best time. Like we went there for 72 hours and it was like a rat race, but in the 72 hours it was the best. But I was ready to get home. Of course, like I see that a hurricane is headed for my home and we're getting ready to move. So I'm like, that is the last thing that we need right now is like a hurricane. But
it's like this bossy in the nursery. You don't want that to happen.
No. But well, with that. Okay. So guys, we won't make this about me and my trip. We'll do a vlog for that. But I did want to ask you, Peyton, last night's episode, 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. What are you giving it?
7, 6.5. What about you?
I would give it like a 6.5. I think that we're seeing a little bit of like unraveling happening. We're seeing people get called out. I think it's kind of been a little bit of a shit show, but listen, I like a good shit show when it comes to reality TV. That's what makes it fun.
I think just how it started from like Jen's relationship and now it's like completely changed to Shannon's. Like the first few episodes were just grilling her about her relationship and now the tables have turned.
It's wild because Tamara and I had a conversation and she said, and I've said this before on here, she said, why every time when you put out stuff, do I feel like you make me look like an asshole? And I'm like, no, I feel like if you feel like some moments might make you look like an asshole, then maybe that's a Tamra thing. That's not an Adam thing. But
Exactly.
it's all innocent, right? But do you think in your mind, as somebody watching the show, do you feel like Jennifer was brought on as an easy target? Like Tamara already knew about the Ryan stuff. She knew about the D pics. She knew what was said in the gym and she knew she was going to turn on her? Or do you think that this organically happened?
I think a little bit of both, but I definitely think with like her knowledge of the background and their relationship and her history, I think she definitely, like, she even apologized for like hazing her. Like, she knew that was, I think the producers knew that was going to happen. She does seem to be like a people pleaser, and she doesn't really like bark back much. She kind of just sits there like when the napkin was thrown, she just like stared at her. So I think she's definitely an easy target, but I think some of it's also happening organically. What do you think?
It just makes me sad for her because I see her. Listen, there's like an element of you that you can't feel too bad for people who put themselves on reality TV because it's like you entered the belly of the beast. And you, at this point, it's not like reality TV is new. Housewives, like, it's going to be messy. There's going to be shitty moments. You're probably going to have a lot of anxiety. But also, you see this woman, and after Tamara throws the napkin in her face and everything, she's like, Tamara, even if you're going to be mean to me, I'll try to understand. I've got you. I don't know why you're doing this. And I'm like,
exactly.
What in the friend of not housewife is this?
And I think Gina even mentioned it, like, how many times does Tamara have to like show you who she is before she understands? She's like, I understand. Yeah, I don't know. I think I feel bad for her because, like, when you know what you're getting into when you, like you said, when you enter reality TV or the Housewives, and I always say that, but at the same time, it has to be such a whirlwind of an experience and not what you expected at all. It's just like a new environment. And though she knew about the show, it couldn't have been easy. And like when they attacked her about Ryan, I just wanted to shake her and be like, open your eyes, please open your eyes. And I feel bad for her. You're right. I do. She seems so, I don't know, like
nice,
I guess is
like,
the
she
word.
just seems like she's like, when she's having her moment with her adopted son and like the kittens. And I'm like, I don't know if this is your edit or if you're like freaking Snow White around here and just this really sweet woman who might have this guy who might not be great for you, but still you just like, this kind of seems like one of those classic, you get into a relationship and you see somebody who has a bad history, but you feel like you will be the one who can change this person. When in all actuality, a lot of times when people have these cycles of bad behavior, it's kind of, especially at 40, 50, that's kind of who you are.
Yeah. That scene at the soccer, or what he was playing soccer, I think, right? And you're talking to the adopted son. That was like the cutest thing. It's like an angel. And she's amazing for doing that. But even like the few episodes back when she was asking him about all these rumors and he was responding to them, I was just like, how is he completely getting away with all the things he's being accused of? Do you believe the dick pic was meant for her?
No. First of all, I don't have Snapchat for a reason because I think it's so messy.
I don't have it either.
There's no fucking way I'm putting myself on Snapchat or even going down that rabbit hole. But I saw where somebody said you can't send all. Like you can't, I forgot.
Your whole contact list. You can like click. I haven't been on there in so long. I don't know if there's new features. But when he said he sent it to his whole contact list, I'm like, that sounds like the biggest crock of shit I have ever heard. And she's like, yeah, I know it was for me. He was like, who else could I say I miss you to? Like, pretty much anybody that you haven't seen. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, no. Again, when you have somebody like this who is known as the town community D, and everybody feels like their wives are not safe around you, and you have this reputation, a lot of times where there's smoke, there's fire.
Always. That's my favorite saying.
Oh, okay. So will you put that on merch and then I'm going to buy it?
Oh my God, I should. I've been looking for a phrase to put on merch. Like I have the glorified, but when there's smoke, there's fire. That's amazing. Like that.
Yes.
I'm doing it.
I'll wear it to, wait, are you going to BravoCon, by the way?
I'm not, just because
No.
I'm in recovery and Vegas and BravoCon. I'm 2 years sober. I don't know if I get. Maybe I will. I've been up and down, but are
Hey,
tickets
that's
still
amazing
available?
though.
Are tickets still
Um,
available? I know it
I
was like
mean, all of the
them.
greedy third party sites bought up all of the shit and now they took $1,200 ticket. I feel so bad for anybody who like the problem is people genuinely just want to go see their favorite TV stars,
Mhm.
right? In person. And then you have like these sites like that buy up all the Taylor Swift tickets and resell them for crazy
So annoying.
amounts. And they're selling the shit for like $5,000 for a ticket. And I'm encouraging people, I'm like, do not buy these third party site tickets until the very end because they're going to lower them. If nobody will buy them, they're
That's
not
what
going to
I
want to just lose all their
think.
money.
Exactly. And I really almost went last year, but my back was really bad. And this year I'm just nervous. But then I've like all the creators like, please come. Like I want to meet everybody, and I definitely want to meet all the Bravo stars, but we'll see. Up in the air.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll revisit this one.
We'll revisit that.
All right. So I wanted to get into this because this was a big moment for the DeBros yesterday. And we have a $55 million sale. And when Terry DeBro was like, it's actually,
Money.
this is the definition of GU money. I'm like,
Mhm.
this is like, you could do whatever the you want money.
It
This is
makes
like,
me
you could quit our job tomorrow money.
it like makes me physically ill. Like I'm shaking. I'm physically shaking. When he said it's like FU money, I was just like, we know how they are. They're into the finer things in life. But for him to say that, I was like, wow, he just is so happy. He does not care right now. He could literally quit. They could go wherever. She can buy her way into acting at this point. Like,
I mean, like some people coming into the industry are feeling like, who do I need to hook up with to get my way to the top? They're like, who do I need to buy off? Because when you have money like this, like you're
what
rubbing
do you
elbow.
even
It's
do
just,
with it?
I guess they'll just keep buying real estate. Like they're like, what do we
Flipping
name our new estate in
dream
Mexico?
house.
It's like, what are we doing? I don't know. But the fact that the Altmans pulled off a $55 million sale, I'm not going to lie. I never want to sit there and harp on someone's home because everybody has their own taste.
Yeah.
But the Robert Cavalli, like designer penthouse, I think I agreed with Heather on Juicy Scoop that I didn't necessarily think that it showed like photographs so well. I
No,
think
I
that I'm
was
sure.
thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot of textures. There's a lot of things that there's more like fine detail since it is designer that we don't really get to see unless you like walk through and just kind of
Yeah.
take it all in. And that's probably the beauty of that particular penthouse. I mean, a $14 million penthouse, like Jesus, there better be the toilet bowl better be made of gold.
No, it better be. And those heated towels better be there too. That's the best part. But no, I agree with you. It's like, it's nice. I mean, I'm not going to say it's nice, like, look at my place, but it didn't photograph well, like you said. And I don't know, the design just seemed pretty weird.
I guess.
But like I was going to say, it was the house that they just sold was, I think he said, the 5th highest sale in Orange County
That is crazy to me.
ever.
I mean, it just listen, and they built it from the ground up. We remember watching them build it.
Oh my gosh, I remember like last season when she gave the tour and Gina was like obsessed with everything and she showed every little detail, and now she's quote unquote buying her dream house again. So I think you're right. They're just going to keep purchasing or building and renovating and selling and making $55 million in the process.
Let's just keep on going. All right, so we're going to go over to the Shannon and Tamra of it all because this was another moment where Shannon is confiding in Tamra about her relationship issues, but she's sort of insisting that her personal matters are no one else's concern. Now, I have a problem with that because if we're going to sit here and point out everybody else's issues and be on the same show, then I don't find it to be fair that you get to play so coy about yours. And coy is literally my middle name, and I'm still not liking this moment. I feel like Lisa Rinna did this shit on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I feel like we're seeing it with Shannon. Like,
that's a great comparison.
Right?
Like, don't talk about my husband, but she'll talk about everybody else's relationships. And you know what? I like Shannon for just some reason. I think she's hilarious, but it is the most hypocritical thing in the planet. I mean, how many times, how many relationships has she talked about? And I just think she's really triggered because obviously when there's smoke, there's fire. Something she explained some of the issues they're having. And I mean, I think she's just deflecting. I don't know. Shannon's life is hunky-dory. That's funny.
I mean, listen, somebody said, Brian Scott Patterson said, Adam, let's not talk about the husband. I feel like at this point, there's a lot of hypocrisy here because you see the moment where it was last week's episode when Gina was like, Shannon loves to bring up, you know, the fact that she saved me after my DUI. And Shannon was like, yeah, I do. It's my favorite story. I love telling that story. And it's like, okay, so you like talking about the fact that you shouldn't talk about anybody's sobriety. I think that's absolute garbage, right?
It is like my number one trigger. Don't say a single word about it because you have no idea.
Exactly. And two, if you're going to throw stones, you better make sure that your rental's not made of glass, girl, because you're over here talking about that, but then you're also jumping on the phone after a few cocktails or Marisol cockies. And you're like, listen, this is what's going on. And the general consensus amongst the ladies is you seem to not remember things that you're telling them. So while you're also pointing out things that she has gone through, it seems like we're sort of deflecting from your own things that I don't want to point things out. The ladies are pointing things out, but this is now your relationship. Now we're talking about alcohol. This is not a good season for Shannon.
No, and the glass houses thing just reminded me when Vicky said, I think they said, what's the phrase? She was like, don't shoot glass houses or something, which is hilarious. But no, she's getting really messy. And like you said, she's definitely deflecting and like the alcohol thing. And then she like talked about someone's penis size, like right after she's saying, don't talk about my relationship. Like she tries to deflect and then she points fingers. And when she said, I swear, like, I know when when I didn't say something, like shoot me down. If I did say it, like shoot me down, like I swear on my life. And they just flashed back to her literally saying it. And I was like, how? At first she didn't say it. And then she added like, well, I said I could say things about you. So which one is it? Like, what did you say? You don't remember or?
Well, and even when they all dressed up like each other, when Emily was like, no, at Javier's, this is what you said. And Shannon just looked and she's like she was trying to process, like, did I say that? I might've said it.
Mind. Yeah. She just like, every time someone does say that, she has that look on her face and it's like, and listen, I'm never gonna like say someone has to stop drinking. And I don't think Gina should be like, oh, I mean, I think she was joking about the rehab thing, but like that is a sensitive topic. And I can tell when someone has a drinking problem, but when you don't remember things like that, it becomes an issue. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but how she doesn't remember or if she's just lying. But I think, like you said, she genuinely doesn't think she said these things. Do you think she is lying or do you think she doesn't think she said it?
No, I think this is so nice, by the way. Thank you, Lee. It's not me, but hey.
Thanks.
Okay. No, by the way, guys, smash the like button, show some love. I think personally, because we've all had fun times out and we've all had moments where it's like, God, that was a wild night. Can you recap it with me? Was I okay? Was that, nobody's innocent in this story unless you just have never touched a drink in your life or whatever. You've never partied too hard. You weren't in high school. You didn't go to these parties. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a moment where they're like, the next day, they call it the walk of shame and things for reasons, right? It's like sometimes you're like, oh shit, what happened?
Sunday scaries, they call it, like wake up and then coming Monday, but you just don't know what you did the whole week. I mean, everybody's done it unless you're like you said, never drank in your life, which kudos if that's true, but we can all understand.
Right. And I think it's okay. And as long as you're not hurting somebody or hurting yourself, Shannon Bedore in this particular instance, I don't feel like she's lying. I feel like she genuinely does not remember a lot of the things that she has said. And it's easier for her to be like, I don't know what you're talking about, than saying something to try to get ahead of it because she doesn't even know. If she says more, when she's not drinking and she's like, you know what, John Jansen and he did call me fat. He did call me these things, but she never said that when she was drinking. Then now she's just putting something out there that really she didn't need to put out there. So that's the problem, is when you don't remember what you're saying and everybody's sort of playing like meek with you, like, Shannon, you did tell us things. Like, she's like, I'm a vault. And they're like, you're not a fucking vault. Everybody's got the code to your vault.
No, and she wouldn't, if she was lying, like when it was brought up to her during the meal, she wouldn't have right away been like, why did you say I said this about Gina? Because she, like, 2 seconds later, like, yelled at Jen. And I think she wouldn't have done that had she really thought she said it. And you can, like you said, see the look on her face, and like, she's so like adamant that she didn't do it. And I mean, just I love when the producers just flashbacks prove someone wrong. I, like, you word for word said that. And that is like a subject, CPS, like alcohol, is a subject that just shouldn't be mentioned, like a mom and her kids. And she would flip out if somebody were to say the same thing about her family. So
and this is where she loses me a little bit. Well, one, girl, put the knife down. We already did this on Potomac. And two, like, put down the pumpkin carving tool, okay? But, you know, like, this is the thing that's where I kind of waver from giving Shannon a little bit of grace on the topic, because I'm like, if you're going to sit here and talk about the size of Travis's manhood, if you're going to sit here and make CPS comments, if you're going to sit here and have this hero syndrome of you helped her, but now you want it to be a storyline and tell every single person the story. One, that's not a friend. I've helped people before, and I've been through, like, whether it's good moments in my life or bad moments in my life, if it's my personal story, then I'm not going to, whether I helped you or I don't like you, I'm not sharing that with people. That is my business. And I didn't sign on to be a part of a reality show, but you did. And the way that you're sitting here treating your friend on a reality show for millions of viewers to see, and running her name through the mud, and now her family, which those are the two things that, like, used to back in the day, those were the two things that you didn't talk about: someone's husband and their children. Right. But now that's like, it's fair game, but it's not fair game for Shannon. So I just feel like this is hypocritical as hell.
I hate hypocrites. That's why I have an issue with Bethany right now. It just drives me insane. Like, if you're going to say something, stick to it. Don't do it yourself. And like you said, like, I talk about my recovery and like mental health on my page, and I have complete strangers coming to me and like spilling their heart out. If my worst enemy sat there and told me something, or I helped them through a situation, I would never go and tell anybody. And I mean, it just wasn't true either. Like, yeah, it was a sad situation, but she continuously brings it up. Like, they flash back to her being like, I helped you. Like, if you really helped her out of the kindness of your heart, you likely wouldn't bring it up every 3 seconds. Like, pat yourself on the back for it.
And that's sort of my point, is like that it really, and again, this absolutely, like, that's so unacceptable. It really is. Like, first of all, Travis, and I've met him, is the nicest guy. Like, he's just so happy to be that. He takes a huge backseat. He kind of reminds me, and I haven't met Dan, Ariana's new man, but I've just heard the cast gush over him.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of him a little bit. Somebody who's willing to take a back seat and let you be the star. And I think for some of these housewives, like, that is part of the reason that I don't necessarily love the Ryan relationship with Jennifer, because Ryan is the star in this movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. In his mind, he's like, oh, even though did you see him when she was on Watch What Happens Live? And he's like,
I actually didn't see that.
Oh God, it was so embarrassing. He tried to land a joke with Andy talking shit about Tamra, and Andy just looked at him like, okay, like, kind of like brushed him off. And I'm like, this is not your time to shine. You are here to support her. It is the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Yeah. He thinks he's the star in the show. Every time he comes on the screen, it just feels so like forced. And he is just this outgoing, outspoken, like, who cares macho guy. And just, you know, when they said he walked in and said he was going to F Tamra, I could like hear him saying that in my mind. Just the way he's so like, it's not confident. He's just arrogant. He just the
Yeah, there's a difference.
yeah, and like you said, Travis is just so nice, and that comment was just like out of left field, and I'm just like. And I kind of laughed when Jen was like, well, we know Ryan's isn't. Like, yeah, everybody knows that, apparently, in Orange County.
At least she can laugh it off, though, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has been able to laugh off certain things, but... All right. Shannon spreading the CPS rumor during this carving trip. Now, it was about Gina's kids, but apparently she, in this moment again, is saying, I did not do that. Jennifer, are you fucking kidding me, Jennifer? Are you fucking kidding me? And Jennifer's like, no, Shannon, that's what you said. And all of the women, I feel like it goes to show a history here when all of the women were like, I don't think that she made that up. She didn't just pull that out of her, behind. And
everybody was like, I didn't hear her say it, but how could Jen have picked all of these details out and just like made that up? Like, why would she, number one, and how would she know any of it? It's
she
just
wouldn't.
a pattern, and everyone was, like they said, didn't hear it. I mean, but when there's smoke, there's fire.
When there's smoke, there's fire. It really is going on merch, guys. Get ready. There's going to be a new drop. There's going to be a new drop. But okay, I wanted to go over to this one too. What did you think about Heather's suspicious staged photos? What did you think about that? Like the paparazzi photos, because obviously they became a topic of discussion. Yeah. And Tamara brings up Teddy's comments about Heather's photos, saying that there are no paparazzi in Orange County, which is kind of funny because I think that Heather also said that about Bronwyn at one point when Bronwyn was on the beach walking and she had her new girl, one of 10 girlfriends that she's had since then. But like, she's like, like looking at the photo, which by the way, have as many girlfriends as you want. I don't care. Yeah. That wasn't a diss. Yeah. But you're like walking down the beach and you're like, I have been to Orange County multiple times. I don't remember seeing any paparazzi.
Okay. I was going to say, I think she absolutely called them. I was surprised a little bit to hear that there aren't any paparazzi in Orange County. Not that I think they're everywhere. I just, thought there would be a few since, it's a rich old town. But I think she definitely called them. And it's just, she's just so coy about it. She doesn't want anyone to think she did. It's obvious. I don't know. I just think it was obvious she called them. I mean, it's okay. Like, that's, people admit it all the time, but it was right after the sale of the house, and she called them for sure.
This is called crisis PR.
Exactly.
It's like saying that Rachel didn't know TMZ was coming outside of the nail salon.
Just gonna bring that up, and it slipped my mind. Like, there's no, I lived in Arizona for 8 years. There are not paparazzi in Arizona. I lived in Scottsdale, so sometimes if there's a celebrity in Old Town, Tucson, there is no one in sight. So people keep defending her, especially when she was at the Four Seasons. There's no paparazzi there. Like, people know where there's paparazzi. You know what I mean? Like, it's obvious.
And also, the Four Seasons isn't going to let paparazzi into like the pool.
You can't even go if you're not like a member. I've tried to get into their pool because we go to hotel pools there. You can't get in, and unless you're a guest. And I've been there, and it's really secluded, so there's no way.
And see, that's the same thing. It's like, this is okay. You guys are a brand. You have multiple businesses. And there was a nasty rumor about your husband that came out saying that he had some sort of infidelity. So you wanted to get ahead of it, and you wanted to portray, we are the happy family. And then sometimes, unfortunately, I made a comment at Sheena's show, and it was, I'm not a comedian. I opened up the show after she sung Good as Gold. And then I came on and I sort of like was giving her a breather while she changed her outfit. Right. Mm-hmm. And I was like, welcome, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, guys, let me give you a little bit of a backstory of how I met Sheena, or how I know Sheena. Cause you guys are probably wondering, who the fuck is this guy? So let me explain. Yeah. And I was like, I got my first real job in LA because of Sheena. And I met my first husband because of Sheena. And in the joke, I said, but honestly, it didn't work out for her the first time, but the second time was so much better. So be careful, Jason, across the room. And then I received so many comments of like, Adam, are you guys okay? This looks like, is this, and I'm like, no, no,
Like, it's
we're
a joke.
definitely okay. But then after that, if you listen to the Juicy Scoop, I got locked out of my hotel room and I told this story and it looks even more crazy. Like there's something going on. And I'm like, I get why Heather would want to get
I
ahead
was
of this
just
because
gonna say, yeah, that
you
must
have
be difficult.
infidelity rumors and then you sell your house conveniently at the same time. It looks like you guys could potentially be going through it. But
I
it's
feel like it happens, like you just explained, it happens so quickly, the rumors, and people just believe whatever and they talk. And I mean, people like Julia Fox, let's just name her for an example. She's like very open about calling the paparazzi. She poses, she walks down the street, and everybody loves it. Like people who just pretend like they don't are just wild to me. And I talk to a lot of paparazzi companies and people. I don't know why. Like it's weird. I just conversate with them often. And the one was like 60% of these pictures are called before. So like it's not a really crazy thing. She just doesn't want to be looked at like she wants attention. She wants it to act like she just gets it. You know what I mean? She doesn't want to seem like she's trying because she doesn't want to ruin her image. You know what I mean?
But I think we would almost have more respect for you.
Mhm.
Like this, we would just like, listen, say that you called the pot. It's okay. Like
I
the
think
Kardashians are open about it. They're like at the very beginning, now they don't have to call them. But at the very beginning, they were like, yeah, we used to call and let them know where we would be and we would get all dressed up and we would look for a moment. Like this is kind of how the game works, especially if you're trying to get certain things out there and you need to feed a narrative and you
yeah,
don't want to have that immediate like the thing is it's so hard to trust people, right? So I have moments all the time where I have Bravo talent who they try to leak me something because they are currently filming their shows and the producers are like, no, we are not talking about this on camera. This is not a part of our storyboard. Absolutely not. But when they leak it, and then there's somebody like us who comes on and we put it on the internet and then it gets picked up and put out and picked up and put out, then you got to talk about it. Then it makes it into the
exactly.
storyline. So
Exactly. So they kind of like put it in themselves and they put the stories out themselves and put it in the narrative and it has to be talked about. And I think like this day and age, people just want honesty more than ever. Like with plastic surgery, with paparazzi, they just want people to like fess up because we're all used to it by now. The honesty like will just gain respect, gain trust. But if you lie about things, then everybody's going to question everything that comes out of your mouth. You know what I mean?
that's the problem too. I think that honestly, oh, like it's like who said it? Kathy Hilton. Silence is golden. It really is. It's like
Yeah.
just let other people like at this point, just let things come out and let people sort of make their own assumptions. Whether for Heather and Terry Dubrow, if people are putting out false narratives about them and you know for a fact this isn't true, that you don't have a cheating husband and you truly believe him, you don't even need to give like don't even answer these ridiculous comments or
Exactly.
these ridiculous statements. Let the people talk and say what they want. And if people believe that, then that's okay. Then those people, you
Yeah.
don't want those people supporting you anyways. Let them believe that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was going to say that advice needs to be given to Kyle Richards because she continuously replies to every single story. Like on page 6, she'll just keep commenting like she did the other day. I
Nope.
love that you had that. Like
Yeah.
keeps commenting about or what was the last story she commented on? Oh, the Photoshop. She was like, oh, that was his photo, whatever. Like, just don't respond.
Just don't
Don't.
respond.
And I understand because for me, I hate when people accuse me of lying when I'm being honest. Like, I don't know why it just drives me insane. So I can understand like wanting to set the truth straight, but she's been doing this for so long. She should know, just let it
Just
go.
don't even say anything.
Yeah, if you,
I
like you
mean,
said, if you know in your heart it's not true, trying to disprove them yourself will not work. Just be yourselves and continue how you've been going. I agree. Silence
it's
is gold. I knew.
silence is golden. We're gonna leave it at that one. But with her too, even Ebony Dix, Taylor Armstrong's "One Too Many" was classic her. That was actually really funny.
That was hilarious. I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna lie.
outside of Craig's, like that's another place where if you go to Craig's in LA, that is like the Hollywood hotspot. That's right next to actually, It's right next to Sir. It's like, for those who haven't been to Sir, you can see it from across the street. And normally celebrities come in the back because there's they have like a paparazzi cover where you can come in, you drive through and they don't get you. And then usually they leave out the front because then you want that photo. You want that moment.
Yeah.
Right.
When I was in LA, I went there with my ex-boyfriend and we just were walking around that area trying to like see celebrities, but I don't think we saw anybody that I know of. You know what I mean? But yeah. But you just go there if you want to be seen. But
you just go there if you want to be seen. And even for the Kyle Richards thing too, I've talked to her daughter, and her daughter's really sweet, Farrah. And we were trying to link up a couple of times, and it doesn't really matter. It hasn't happened. But I even talking about it, when I did an interview with her, she said, "Oh, well, I saw that there was a video that you did about my mom, and I had to check it out to make sure you didn't say something bad. And then I came on your channel." And I was like, "No, absolutely. Thank you for being honest with me, but I didn't say anything bad." And for Kyle Richards, I have said, and I even told her, I said, I'm going to talk about this. I don't have to do anything, but I'm going to talk about this on my channel because a lot of people don't understand guys, I'm not in a relationship with this girl. Please stop talking about it. I'm getting really annoyed. But then also going on and doing a full-on steamy music video where you're almost kissing and you're running around town with her. I get that you're filming or producing a documentary about this girl's life, but you're sort of contributing to the narrative and saying, "Oh no," like, yeah, you're feeding into it. It's like if you put your hand on the stove and you get burned and you're like, "Guys, I don't want to get burned." Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to keep doing it.
Exactly. And with her, like, I don't dislike her at all. There's no like ill will towards her at all. I think she's a nice, amazing person. But even like the Ozempic rumors, she kept bringing it up. Every rumor, I feel like she just contributes more and feeds into it and gives more like ammo for people to continuously believe it and talk about it. And I can't tell if she wants that, if she wants people to keep going, or if she just can't help herself.
Unfortunately, Kyla's making the story worse. I agree. Judy Goldfarb, haven't they been together for years? 27 years. Unfortunately, I think that I'm starting to believe in this situation, you like being the story. You like, and I think that's what happens. I think when you talk about yourself and you talk about what everyone's like, the drama and all of this stuff, you're already on a reality show. Let it play out. Like, if you want to be the story, talk about yourself, talk about like what's going on in your life. And then what you're doing is you're opening it up for everybody to have an opinion. They'll tell you what you could have done right, what you could have done wrong. If you don't want to be the story, then you just keep quiet. And she has not kept quiet on any of this. She's just spoken out.
Do you think it's for a storyline potentially?
I think that we witnessed this last season with the Aspen shit with Lisa Rinna and Kathy Hilton. I think that it gets us excited. It feels
like a century ago.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's so wild.
It does feel like a century ago, but I do feel like, yeah, like now, are we all tuning in to Buying Beverly Hills season 2? Yes. Are we all tuning into Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Yes. Do we want to know what's going on with Kyle's relationship? 100%. This is free press, and it is feeding what, like, I don't want to sound like Bethany, but it is feeding the machine of the PR machine. Like, you really, it's the best publicity for the show. Is just like, okay, guys, I'm on Amazon Live to talk about a few of my favorite summer purchases. But by the way, yes, it's been difficult.
She didn't even say separation, but like alluding to it. She just knows what she's doing. She's like, yeah, here's like my favorite shirt. But yeah, Morgan and I are just hanging out. The music video was just so awkward. Like, she just jumps on Amazon Live to drop some knowledge and leaves.
Yeah. And then Morgan Wade too, when she goes on and listen, I can do this, you guys, because I lived in Tennessee for a while. And
oh my God, are you going to do a session?
I'm going to do, well, this is how she talks, because this is how I used to talk too. And I somehow got rid of my accent, but she goes, I just don't understand why everybody wants to, keep pushing this narrative. And we are just friends. And I'm not a star or a celebrity. And I'm not used to this kind of attention. But then you're also doing interviews and you're like, we came to the idea of why don't we just have a little fun with it and just troll the trolls? I think that's
done.
It's like, what the fuck are we doing? That you got to pick a side, girl. You got to pick a lane. You can't have both. Are we trolling the trolls and we're going to have fun with it? Or do we want to be left alone? You don't get both. That's not how this works.
I'm just from a small town. They follow her everywhere. And I just want to make music. Like, are you sure? Like, it's not what I see. Also, Adam, I want to make sure really quick. Can you hear the notifications going off on my iPad? Okay, good.
Yeah. Nope. Val Porter, listen.
It's so good.
This was actually my real accent. I had a real accent. I got rid of her. I said, no, bitch, you're staying in Tennessee. And I moved to LA. So I lost her. I left her at home. And that's okay. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just saying. All right. So
Bethany and Rachel impression too. And everybody thinks I sound like her, but I don't hear it. Like when I do impressions, I don't hear it at all. But I put on a wig the other day. I don't know if you saw it, and I did one. But
oh God! Wait, is it on your Instagram?
Yeah.
Wait,
it's embarrassing.
We're playing it right now.
Oh my God! No!
Where is it at? Which one? Is this it?
Don't play.
One. Who cares how I made it to number one? It's business 101. When you're at the top, you grab the trophy. All these people are seething with jealousy and they're so invested in other people's successes and journeys that they don't even look at their own. I mean, come on. 90% of the people loved it. The other 10% are bloggers and podcasts. I pitched an intelligent, smart idea to iHeart, to Rachel, and they loved it. And we orchestrated this big podcast that was secretive and it was successful. We were number one. They loved it. We're all happy. And all these podcasts are jealous that they didn't get her. And honestly, if you don't want clout and attention, accusing me of wanting attention and clout, you won't be number one. That's how you get up there. Let me ask you this. What do the podcasters want when they do podcasts? Do they want to be number one? Do they want attention and clout? What else do they do it for? I mean, come on. That's how you make it to number one. It's business 101. You got to be smart. You got to be intelligent.
You know what's so funny is you literally hit this dead on. That was the rant from Bethany was absolutely wild. By the way, guys,
so embarrassed.
No, my God, don't be embarrassed. This is great. You should do more impressions because every time I do one, Jason's like, what are we doing? What are we like? And I'm like, no, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody.
No, it's never like making fun of her. I didn't know that was you. That's hilarious. Everyone's like that. You're such a bully for all these impressions. I'm like, I'm not bullying anybody. Like, I'm literally just like impressions. There's people who have Instagram with millions of followers because they're good at impressions. It's just comedy, okay? I'm just a comedian.
Please keep doing this. This is hilarious.
Okay. I'm so embarrassed, but I'm glad you guys liked it.
Gosh. Well, guys, with that, I'm going to ask you, Peyton, what, at the end of this, like, what are you looking forward to most throughout the rest of this season for Real Housewives of Orange County? Like, what do you want to see or what do you hope to see?
I want to see definitely more of Shannon's like relationship and kind of figure out where the root of the problem is and why she's so defensive and deflecting onto other people. I definitely want to see what happens with Jen and Ryan and kind of get to like see her more vulnerable side and like hear more from her because I feel like she's always just like pretending like everything's okay. And she broke down a few episodes ago and said like she is bothered. You know what I mean? I forget who she was talking to. And I want to see more of that. I don't know. I mean, I like how the season's going. Maybe Tamra, like, just figure out her friendship with everybody because I feel like she does talk kind of about everybody. But I want to hear about her and Jen and Taylor's friendship. Like, I don't know. I want to hear everything.
I think it's so crazy and so obviously calculated, the fact that all of this shit about Shannon's relationship keeps getting pinned on Heather Dubrow. And Heather's like, Shannon, I'm telling you. And she's like, This seems calculated in the sense that she knows that Vicky is an interest to production again. She knows that she can team up and have the alliance that is the Tres Amigas. And she knows that she can move forward with that. And that kind of gives her a safe space. And for Heather Dubrow, she doesn't need her anymore. So that's why she's not mad at Tamra, because that doesn't serve the longevity of her as a housewife. But fighting with Heather, who gives a shit? They were never close to begin with.
And Heather is already feeling left out, as she said when they were in Montana. She's like, feels left out with her and Tamra, and she's just like left behind, which is like pretty crazy for me to hear that Heather feels left out, because she just always feels like so confident. But you're right. Do you think Vicky will come back?
Yeah, I think that she's going to be back full time next season for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
So you're right. I mean, the alliance with the Tres Amigas, I mean, she doesn't need her anymore, and it's easy to pin on. But, you know, Tamara's behind the scenes continuously talking. I mean, all these rumors just pop up, and it gets pinned on everyone else.
I know.
What are you excited to look for this season?
What?
What are you looking forward to this season?
I mean, I just want to see the dirtiest reunion ever that Taylor Armstrong is alluding to, because this, I mean, that's what I want. I want to see the dirtiest reunion. Yeah. And also Tamra going around, and listen, I think that Tamra came in. I think that she really did have a huge hand in saving this show. I thought that the show was going down the toilet, and I was so happy to have her back. I do think that she is sort of not a keyboard warrior, but a confessional warrior, and you don't know what the hell she's saying behind the scenes about everybody. And I want to see everybody hold certain things and certain people accountable at this reunion now that they've seen the entire season play out, because there was a lot of messiness, a lot of shit.
I was just thinking that, like, I want to hear after they've watched it and seen what everyone said, like, what's going to happen. And I'm excited for the reunion for sure.
Oof. Well, if they don't know, will you let them know? And I'm going to bring it up one more time, where they can find you again. Peyton, thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you for having me. We must do it again. Thanks everybody for watching my embarrassing impression. But follow me and my business. As you can tell, I just dress and sell vintage t-shirts and non-vintage shirts. There's some examples of them. I have hundreds upon hundreds in my household. I made it when I broke my back, and I get surgery actually tomorrow.
Oh, so, wow.
Support me.
Yes, we're sending you all the love. Hey, well, sending you all the love and the positive energy, and you're going to be good. And we got you. We got you. And then when you're ready after surgery to come on and talk some ish, then we'll bring you back and we'll talk some ish.
Yeah, I think we're good with the schedules now. We're gonna do it again.
We got this. Well,
I love it.
Peyton, thank you so much. And guys, if you haven't already, everyone in the live chat, a huge thank you. Yes, I agree, Gigi girl. Speedy recovery. A huge thank you to everyone for joining us in the live chat and being respectful in the live chat. Thank you to all of our new members. Jason is dropping a members only vlog at some point this week. I will keep you guys posted on that. And that's from our trip to LA. So get ready for that as well. And do all the YouTube things, and we'll see you next time, guys. Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.